All right, I am here with newly committed 2026 Oklahoma Sooner quarterback,
Yes,
Jaden
sir.
O'Neal. Jaden, obviously you've been through whirlwind visit. You guys have gone through the gambit. So you know what you know, you love what you love, and you like what you like at this point. Um, I think the easiest question is why Oklahoma?
Um, you know, when my family and I, once we had got back to California and kind of just sit back and kind of evaluate, all of our decisions, we kind of knew it was just like we just got like a different feel being at Oklahoma. The
Mhm.
meeting with Coach BV, Brent Venables, definitely something to remember for for the long run. Coach Seth Luttrell having the same core values as my father was definitely a big accounting as well because like you want somebody who you can relate to. So that was another reason why I picked Oklahoma. Coach Jack Lowry, quarterback analyst slash quarterback coach, definitely knows the game of football in and out. So I feel like that's another person that could help my development. Being at Oklahoma.
That's awesome. You spent a lot of time there when you were there. I think it was for a lot of people, it seemed like it was fairly obvious at that point because you
Yeah.
you went, 1 or 2 days at certain place and you spent 4 days in Norman. Um, what how did that whenever you decided, look, I'm gonna spend 4 days in Norman, did you feel at that point you already knew what you were gonna do and this was just kind of the formality at that point?
It was actually like before then. I took like a unofficial visit. The first time during like the spring, spring
Hmm.
ball. So we kind of already knew like basically like this is the place because they already like set the standard high. To be honest, to throw them like in a game, it was Miami at first, and they were like high in our game, because it was like early like in our recruiting process. So Miami had set the standard, but once we had went to Oklahoma like that first time, it was like no other field,
That's
you know.
awesome.
Being in Norman, we were in Norman, but I don't think it was normal, being there. So
Mhm.
it was just some, very. It was just I don't know how to like describe it. It's like how you can't describe like love. It was just like that. So
And then you've been around the program, you've been around the players. Was there, I guess, do you remember the time that you were sitting there and you were thinking like, okay, this is where I want to be? Like, do you remember that exact moment, what you were doing?
um, man, I think I was in the first meeting with Coach Brent Venables. He had like I don't know. It was just like just the meeting, just his whole demeanor, some of his values as well. Kind of just stuck with me. Um, it was just kind of just hard to explain it, but it was definitely like the first meeting with Coach Brent Venables. That was like kind of like when I already knew, and then especially like being on the field too. I kind of like envision myself being there. I comes like sometimes I go to like certain places, like the field looks nice, everything looks nice, but I just don't envision myself being there. Especially like being in the Midwest, South, kind of being in the SEC
Hmm.
now. Definitely big boy football too, so I definitely want to run straight to the competition because I'm always hungry, vouching for more competition daily.
So, your dad, obviously, he stays in the background, but I've gotten to know him a little bit, and that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard because I've only heard this from one other dad. And this was Caleb Williams' dad because it was just very. It fits your personality. It fits Caleb's personality. It was like, look, man, like we're here to show everybody that we're better than everybody. We're going to camps to show everybody we're better than everybody. We're never going to run from competition, and we're going to do what we do when we show up and let the chips fall where they may.
So,
Did as far as like when you were growing up and you have a dad that's like that, did that kind of, I guess, mold you into and create you into what you've become and what you will become later on while you're at Oklahoma?
yeah, definitely. My dad's like somebody who I like always like looked up to.
Hmm.
Um, Kind of at one point, he was like my superhero. I mean, he still is now, but like now, kind of like guiding me because I'm, coming towards the age of like grown man. So, just having my dad there, always since like a young kid was definitely something that definitely molded me, like you just said. So, I'm very proud of my dad. Definitely poured, a lot into me. Always because I spent like the most time with my dad, other than my mom. So those like, I take really strong pride in like my parents. I spend a lot of time, with my mom whenever I can, but I've always like been around my dad, so he's definitely played a big huge part like in my coming up stage.
Nice. You brought up the SEC part, and you said I'm never going to run from competition. I'm gonna run towards it, and
Yeah,
that's where big boy ball's at. What is it about the SEC that drew you to Oklahoma? And was that if Oklahoma was in the SEC, like is that was that I guess the final straw for you? Is like, oh, they're going to the SEC, they're going to play. I'm going to get to play against the best, and they develop quarterbacks on top of that. Was that kind of I guess all encompassing for you?
definitely played like a huge part, towards the end. But being there like the first time, I kind of like already knew. But the competition that they play week in and week out
Mm.
definitely drew my eye. Especially I've always like wanted to play like in the South. So being in the SEC, that's all you see day in and day out. Is players from the South, and they kind of have this saying that Cali players are soft, but I want to be, one of many to also prove that as well that we're not soft over here. So I definitely that also played a part in like in my whole decision.
Do you have a place you're like looking most forward to playing at and against?
Ooh, I'm big on like rivalry games, so I'm definitely excited to go to Texas or just set this like Red River game.
Oh, the Dallas game? Yeah.
That,
But
that's
that's a different. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. There's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. If you get a chance to go this year, I would make that trek if I'm you. Just and I think OU's the home school this year.
this
So
year, yeah, because last year was Texas. I remember.
yes, so you'll be able to go to that if you guys can make it. So as a host, guest of Oklahoma, so
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Is there any outside of the OU Texas game like Alabama, Florida, LSU, Death Valley at night? Like, is there something that you look at and you want to go, oh yeah, I want to go play in that atmosphere?
I definitely want to see them play Bama with the same tradition but different coaching staff. I definitely want
Yeah.
to see that. Another game I definitely want to see is LSU. I want to see OU and LSU. That's gonna be a game I definitely want to see. Just for like personal reasons, but
Yeah.
that's definitely a game I want to see.
And then for you, Oklahoma fans are going to be super excited. Obviously, they're stoked that you're committed to Oklahoma. Is there anything you have to say to OU fans like right now, going into 20? Because you're the leader of the 26 class. Like as far as recruiting goes, who are you going to go after?
Man, it's definitely a number one running back. I kind of been, eyeing him a little bit. Caden Jones,
Mm-hmm.
right in Oklahoma. Definitely want to recruit some of my guys, at my school because they also have the Oklahoma offer as well. So definitely want to take a trip up there with them, just kind of see what they feel like. Definitely, like the 25 class is strong as well. They have a lot of guys that just got done with their official visits, so we should have a supporting class with that. But definitely, as I get closer, to like being there, I want to definitely key in like on a few guys. Um, so yeah,
Do you know Marcus Harris very well from Modern Day?
yes, kind of have like a lot of history together. Did a couple camps
Mm.
together, rivals in Georgia, rivals in Cali, so we definitely know each other.
I was just asking because you guys were on campus at the same time, and he obviously committed to Oklahoma. So, uh, just thought maybe that was kind of a coincidence. So, um, I guess outside of that, man, anything you want to say to Oklahoma fans now that you're out there, you're committed, uh, you're the leader of the 26 class. Is there anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, as a leader of the 26 class, I definitely want to let OU Nation know you're not getting a guy who's like fearful. Even if I'm losing down 40 or up 40, I'm staying true to myself. So just know that you got a guy who carries like a lot of confidence, who believes in what's right, and you know just know I just want to make sure I give my best foot forward, day in and day out, and I just want to trust the process too. So knowing that you're gonna get a guy who's gonna be through there through thick and thin.
Nice, man. Well, Jaden, appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on the commitment. This is 2026 Rivals 100, number 63 overall player in the country, one of the top quarterbacks in the nation 2026 class, committed to Oklahoma, Jaden O'Neal. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.